Before the FIBA World Cup qualifiers window 5 kicked off, South Sudan captain Kwani warned everyone the job is not done yet. He was quoted in saying that one thing that South Sudan team captain Kwani is certain of is that there is work to be done in the remainder of the FIBA World Cup 2023 African qualifiers. There are 3 games left. South Sudan won their rematch against Senegal. Game ended 83-75. And South Sudan are not just on top of Group F with a 9-1 record. They also had already punched their ticket to the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. Right now, it's a 10-1 record because they avenged the loss against South Sudan. So, not South Sudan, Senegal. So Senegal went down in this game 83-75 in the third game. So considering the fact that South Sudan did that, I mean, right now they have beaten every single team, and the games that they're left with are only 2 games. So we are currently in a good spot. However, the job is not done yet. Kwani acknowledged in an interview with FIBA Basketball, we need to come up to Egypt with the same hunger, mindset, and drive to play and win all the games despite needing only one to qualify, which they've already done. He continued, South Sudan will go up against Egypt and Congo DR in their last games in Alexandria from February 25th, 26th, 24th. They already played against Senegal and they have punched their ticket. So how did a nation that became independent in 2011 only entered their major continental tournament in 2020 after taking African basketball by storm? I mean, this is a very, very interesting question. And of course, if you're here in this video, you're sure we're going to answer this question. So self-belief and will to rewrite the African basketball narrative seems to have contributed to South Sudan's rise. Excuse me. So asked to reflect on South Sudan's journey in African basketball over the past 4 years, Kwani replied, and he is quoted as saying, over the last 3 years, South Sudan basketball team has meteorically risen in the African basketball scene. Many may think this was just luck, but it's due to the hard work done behind the scene management staff, coaches and players, as well as the tremendous support behind the team. So he continued, the rise of the national team can be greatly attributed to the leadership of Luol Deng as the president of the South Sudan Basketball Federation, and his contributions both on and off the court for a team that needed to step up against regional rivals such as Kenya, which is my country, Uganda, Ethiopia, and Somalia, to be in a position to beating African champions twice, the AfroBasket champions, the reigning AfroBasket champions twice, Tunisia in the African qualifiers, and push the likes of Egypt and the Senegal to their limits. That shows how the medal that the South Sudan team have is just built. They're just built different, and bringing together the foreign-based South Sudanese players has massively boosted the team's potential. Even Kwani acknowledged it. South Sudan have always had numerous players around the world playing professionally at a collegiate level. However, we lack the resources, organization, and leadership to bring that all under one management and use it to achieve our objectives. So Luol Deng was able to bring that all together, because with Luol Deng at the helm, they have gotten all the things that they needed, and they put all the pieces together. They have a very good coaching role, Ivy, and he has shown them how to win games at that level. So once Luol Deng took over, the federation was then able to get the ground rolling and start the Africa Zone 5 qualifiers in Nairobi on January 2020. It was fortunate enough to be amongst the 12 players selected to represent the country, but it was the first time we showed the world that South Sudan basketball was capable, what SSD basketball was capable of achieving. So although we lost the final game to Kenya, we knew we had something special, and it was only a matter of time before we could make some serious noise in the African basketball scene. So I remember January 2020, there was the AfroBasket pre-qualifiers. South Sudan, they fell to Kenya. So, and reaching the quarterfinals of the FIBA AfroBasket in 2021, the loudest message South Sudan could have sent out to Africa about their intentions on the continent. I mean, they got their revenge against Kenya. It was a 2-point game, 68-58. They beat Kenya, they eliminated us, and South Sudan got eliminated by Tunisia, who they avenged their losses. So you can see South Sudan are on a mission to avenge all of their losses. They avenged their loss against Kenya in the AfroBasket pre-qualifiers. They knocked us out of the AfroBasket. And then they got the revenge against Tunisia, the team that knocked them out in the 2021 AfroBasket. They got their revenge in the AfroBasket qualifiers when they were pooled in the same group. So you could see South Sudan it's just levels without their team. We had a great training camp with new coaches, Royal Ivy, Fortune Solomon, and Joe Mantegna. I hope I haven't butchered his name. We had a great first show at the AfroBasket, however, finished with a record of 3-2 and lost to eventual back-to-back champions Tunisia in the quarterfinals. So they avenged this loss. So the World Cup qualifiers came out fast, and we were starting our campaign 3-0 and first in our group. This really gave us a huge head start, and just like the AfroBasket, gave us the opportunity to achieve something that had never been done before in our country's history. As you can see, like, they went up 3-0. This actually surprised me, and I was actually watching those games, and I was like, I give South Sudan the nod. They beat Rwanda, they beat Cameroon, and they beat Tunisia. So I was like, were they for real when they were playing? Because my country was literally going down 0-3, and I was just seeing South Sudan go up 3-0. So we came back hungry and played hard in the next round, and were able to improve the record to 6-0 and an unbeaten record on top of the group. So this was then the buzz around the South Sudan basketball, really, as the buzz continued just to grow, and we started to see a lot of fans coming to the games and supporting back home, growing into an exponential level. I saw a picture on social media that the South Sudanese team were just being, when they landed, a lot of people were there on the airport, and they're just waiting for them. They're champions. The fan base there was just awesome. One more win in the World Cup qualifiers in this new chapter in South Sudan's country's basketball history. Qualifying for our first World Cup will be a dream come true, and what it means, and mean the world to our country. So we're just a young country with a lot to offer to the world, and this will be one of those things that will give them great publicity and positivity to South Sudan. So Kwani concluded. So South Sudan are on the path to greatness. They're on the top of the power rankings with a 10-1 record, and they have beaten every single team in their path. We'll just have to wait and see how they fare against their last two matches. South Sudan have set the standards on how to rebuild a team. South Sudan on Friday became the first team in African basketball history to qualify for the FIBA Basketball World Cup in their first attempt. So in history, it's something that it was just insane. In their first match against Senegal, Nouni Omot came up with a man of the match performance to help South Sudan beat Senegal 83-55 and become the second African team after Cote d'Ivoire to qualify for the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup to be held in Indonesia, Japan, and the Philippines. So it was a breathtaking encounter that saw two desperate teams looking to rewrite history, while Senegal hoped to boost their chances to return to the World Cup for the third straight time. South Sudan stepped onto the floor to make history, and history was made indeed. So this looked like a battle between Nouni Omot and Senegal's Branco Badio, but Omot, who opened the scoreline with a floater, turned out the reason South Sudan denied the Senegalese team from winning that game. So it was just a revenge game. Remember that game that I saw South Sudan getting beat by Senegal? It was a 3-point game, 69-63 last year. And they got the revenge, sweet revenge today. Omot was 7 of 14 on the floor to finish with a team-high 26 points. And he had 8 rebounds and dished out 4 assists. So Coach Barr came off the bench for Deng Okoth, who picked his second foul 3 minutes into the game to add a valuable 11 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists for the history-making South Sudanese team. So Badio did everything he could do to keep Senegal at bay from creating shooting opportunities, which resulted into 6 assists, into attacking the rim with a thunderous dunk But Badio finished the game with a 29 points, but despite his effort, the night belonged to South Sudan as they went along and made history. So South Sudan led by 14 early in the first half, but Senegal regained the lead in the third, leading by as many as 11 points. However, Bull Cole buried two straight three-pointers that gave South Sudan 77-67 lead with 2:35 minutes left. And despite Senegal's response, the damage is already done. Omot, who plays for Senegal's head coach Desana Diop at Westchester Knicks in the G League, was the face of South Sudan's desperation. So he hit a buzzer beater three-pointer to help the team close the gap 63-59 at the end of the third quarter, but before adding another 8 points in the final 10 minutes. So it was a very, very tight game. 11 lead changes reflected the intensity of a game that could have gone either way. So this game was just, it was anyone's game at the time. So even South Sudan, pulling off with it, it was just a sheer effort. But the biggest difference of the game was South Sudan's bench, who outscored Senegal's 33-14. So you could see, this is a team that's very deep, and Senegal entered the game with a 2-0 head-to-head advantage over South Sudan, dating back to the 2021 AfroBasket. But South Sudan's high morale to write a new chapter in African basketball history proved too much for Senegal, who looked in control of the team, looked in control of the game in the third, but Luol Deng and his men weren't prepared to delay their qualifications of the World Cup for a few more days, and they had to make it count. And that's what they did when they went to Alexandria. And right now they're sitting pretty with a 10-1 record, and they are on top of Africa's power rankings and on top of Africa. So every team is just looking at them. These are the new guys who have just come in out of nowhere, and they've just seized control of African basketball. So it'll just be exciting to see how far this team is going to go. So that's all I got for you guys. So if you guys like the video, make sure you leave your feedback down in the comments. I just knew this video was going to be one of those long videos that I just break down everything and just look at, different perspectives on South Sudan basketball. And also, I just love watching South Sudan basketball. Just awesome to watch. And sub to the channel, hit that bell so that you can never miss any new videos that are coming out. And I'm out. Peace.